Welcome to Glam Chat, the official podcast of South Australia's largest lifestyle news website, Glam Adelaide.
Hello everyone, welcome to Glam Chat. My name is Ben Francis and today I am joined by the incomparable Randy Feltface ahead of his national tour of Feltopia. How are you, Randy?
I'm so great. It's so nice to be joining you on Glam Chat this morning. Today.
It is very nice to have you. Can I start? You have amazing eyes. You have beautiful, beautiful eyes. Look at them.
Thank you. Please feel free to get lost in them.
But can you hear me all right? Because I can't see any ears.
No, I can hear you great. I've got ear pods, but they're all the way in.
Oh, I see. They've really gone
into the side of my head. They're in there somewhere.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So you have been touring for a long, long time. What made you get into the comedy circuit?
Great question. I started out doing like theater and stuff, I guess, as a kid. And then I needed an outlet for all of my pent up angst, rage, disdain for society. And stand-up seemed like the best place to get on stage in front of people and just scream profanity. It worked great for me. It really suits my stand-up suits my sensibility, you know?
Totally. And isn't it amazing that, you know, you give someone a mic and a stage but if you take that away, they're just a crazy person yelling in a park, you know?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. And I think I'm more of the guy in the queue lining up for coffee, just quietly wanting to murder everybody.
Quietly?
That's the energy I have. Yeah, just this guy. I'm this guy. Just constantly like hiding there, just going, oh, God, oh, come on. I just think that the world doesn't work as well as it should and could. You know, there are so many things that we've done to try to make everything more convenient that just make things more detached and less convenient. So I don't know if I'd be screaming in the park, but definitely walking around going, ugh.
And you would have had a bigger insight than most because you've been all around the world with this tour. So you've seen lots of places. What's been your favourite spot?
Well, I really like traveling through America. My shows there have been really well received and I love the American audiences, but I think probably Copenhagen was my favourite spot on this tour. I'd never been there before and it melted my little felty face. I thought it was a fantastic place. Very cool, very cool.
And I assume you would have had some character building moments too.
On the road,
yeah,
constantly character. Well, I've already told you how much disdain I have for general humanity. So spending a lot of time in airports, in lines, waiting for things and dealing with that stuff. I mean, listen to the privilege just dripping off my face. Oh, God, it's so hard traveling around the world, fulfilling my personal dreams and having a fantastic time, being showered with praise from rooms full of strangers. What a tough life I've chosen for myself. Man, everything's great. I've got a great life and I don't hate humanity. I'm just impatient with people. And it's funny being back in Australia too, because, you know, I did all these shows in the States where audiences are like, yeah, as soon as you walk out on stage. And then I did shows this weekend at the start of the tour in country Victoria. And there was a lot of, okay, well, Mr. Funny Man, let's go. Come on then. You've come all this way? Yep. No, he thinks it's pretty good now, doesn't he? Look, he's been overseas. Mr. Fancy Pants with his little felty face. So I'm hoping that the good people of Adelaide and the rest of the tour are a little bit more like, yeah, Randy's here.
I'm sure it will. And Adelaide audiences in particular, we're very good at our shows. We're very good at our comedy. So I reckon we'll get around you 100%. But it is interesting what you said about that. I mean, Australian audiences, I just love the little quotes on posters and things that, you know, wasn't disappointed. Like the baseline is just so low. You're expecting to be disappointed. Wasn't disappointed, or surprisingly good, you know. Yeah. I was surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a great feeling to walk on stage with a room full of people expecting to be disappointed. And then you have to like win them. Whereas the opposite in America, you walk on stage and everyone's like, yes, you got this. Come on. And then it's up to you to disappoint them. So you get the benefit of the doubt. But in Australia, it's like I had to say on stage the other night, all right, okay, I know you've left the house and that's a big deal, but just get on board. Embrace the life that you've chosen. Experience joy. I know you're all riddled with colonial guilt and inherited trauma, but just for 1 hour, put it aside and enjoy the world in which you live, you know?
Yeah, and I think, even if they don't, you're the real winner because they've already bought their tickets, haven't they?
Exactly. I still get the money at the end of the day. And if capitalism is not the winner, then who is? You know what I mean?
Hey, one of the things I've been really interested in on your tour, you must have been on a lot of flights. Now, are you one of those people that get up as soon as the plane touches the ground, they stand up, they are ready to go?
Yes, and I've got to say, I don't know what everybody's problem with this is because I'm an aisle seat guy, right? So if I've been sitting down for any longer than, I'd say, 7 minutes, I'm ready to stand up. That's just the kind of person I am. So if the plane is on the ground, I'm going to get up. I'm going to get my backpack out from under the seat. I'm going to place it on the seat. I'm going to stand there patiently. I don't take my luggage out of the overhead compartment until it's my turn to move in the line. I think that's a bit rude when the thing gets like that. But I think people keep talking about this. Are you one of those people that stands up when the plane lands? I think nobody's talking about the people that stand hard up against the baggage carousel. Like if everybody just took a few steps back and then you see your bag, you step forward, you get your bag. People pushing trolleys up against it. Like, this is my spot. This is my spot against the... I think that's more of an airline injustice than people standing up when the plane lands.
That's very true. It's Hunger Games in Terminal 2.
Where are you at with no shoes on the plane?
Oh, nah, leave your shoes on. Unless it's like maybe an international flight and you've got those like kind of stocking situations, fine. If you're going from Adelaide to Melbourne, that is 45 minutes. Keep your shoes on, sir.
Correct. Yeah. I would like shoes off on a long flight, absolutely. Make yourself at home. No bare feet, though.
No bare feet.
I don't want to see a bare foot on a flight, but I'm happy with a sock. And I'm not anti-foot. Don't get me wrong. Love a foot. Big fan of the feet. I've got 2 of them myself, but I don't want to see it. You know, the worst is when you're sitting on a plane and then a little bare foot just creeps along next to you, between you and the window or on the aisle, someone's foot. They're using your bit of the plane as their gross little nude footrest.
Especially at mealtime.
I'm not happy with that.
That's just not what you want.
Well, I don't eat the food on the planes. I take my own food.
I see.
So my meal times are whenever I goddamn well want. I have to wait for someone to come along and tell me when to eat, turn the lights off and tell me when to sleep. Don't tell me what to do. I'm an adult. I'm in the air. I can do what I want in the sky. Are you in the sky right now? No, I am. Bugger off.
Now, you're getting into politics.
You need my voice, Randy Feltface. That's why I'm hitting the campaign trail in 2023 to take my message to every corner of the globe.
No, I'm not. I know that there's this thing in the media release about Randy's getting into politics, and I've done so many interviews on this tour, and the first question is, what are your policies? What are you doing? Look, the show is about me quitting comedy and moving into politics. But really, I got to be honest with you. I talk about that for like 3 seconds, and the rest of the story is just this rolling, absurd story about me locking my keys in the car and having a disastrous experience on public transportation. And I should have, in the press release, put, Randy's back in Australia. He had a horrible time on a bus once. But instead I was like, Randy's quitting comedy and moving into politics, because Feltopia is a great name for a show. And look, the political angle on all of the marketing looks fantastic. But I did not come here to lie to the good people of Adelaide. They're a discerning audience. That's why the Adelaide Fringe Festival is at the start of the festival circuit, because everybody knows that Adelaide audiences are so brutally honest that if your show doesn't work in Adelaide, it's not going to work anywhere. You know what I mean?
It's a workshop in itself, isn't it, Adelaide?
It is. The whole city's a workshop. But that's why this time I opened this show in the UK and I toured it all around the world. I've done it 100 times. And now that I'm bringing it to Adelaide, I know that it's worthy. I know that it's good enough. I've never performed at the Norwood Town Hall before. I hear that's a nice place.
It's a very beautiful venue.
cavernous mechanics hall style vibe.
Mm.
I'm into that. It's going to be fantastic. So
It sure will.
that's the end of that line of questioning. Shut that shit down. What else you got?
Well, hey, you say about public transport. I don't know whether you've been on the public transport we have in Adelaide, but I can tell you that it is not great. So I would perhaps avoid it while you're here.
I've caught the tram to Glenelg. I had a wonderful experience.
Trams are really good, actually. They don't run late.
Buses?
They don't run late, the trams. The buses, however,
You know what?
avoid.
It fascinates me how intense peak hour gets in Adelaide. For a smallish place that is beautifully designed as a grid system with arterial routes that seem to go everywhere they need to go, how does it become such a disaster at peak hour?
I think
You have an answer to that?
Well, I think, the CBD, Central Business District, is that. It is a very small grid, and everyone from everywhere has to descend upon that one small grid at the same time. Which,
that makes sense.
We're not as spread out as other states, I would say.
Well, maybe the public transportation system could move to the sky. Maybe you could start having like helicopters instead of buses.
And or underground.
Well, there's that. But do you know, you don't know what's under Adelaide?
Well, true.
It's a controversial old place. There's probably all sorts of Catholic catacombs and Freemasonry lodges beneath the ground that you would have to dig through to create a tunnel system.
All of
Adelaide's got a dark past, man. South Australia's got some weird shit in its history.
Hey, before we let you go, I've got to ask for all the ladies of Adelaide, is there a Mrs Feltface?
There is not a Mrs Feltface. I am perpetually single and bouncing around the globe looking for love in all the wrong places. I don't have the kind of lifestyle that really lends itself to a consistent relationship. It's got to be a very special human that fits the Randy Feltface love mold.
A nomadic human, perhaps.
I am nomadic. I do go from place to place, peddling my wares, season to season. I go wherever the laughs are at whatever time of year is most appropriate. But, if you want to set me up with anyone, just form an orderly queue next to the box office.
Drop them in the
Happens
comments.
in
How about
Adelaide Town. Yeah. We'll go to the what was that, Mars Bar? What was the bar in
the Mars
Adelaide?
Bar. Yes, that closed a couple of years ago, I believe. We've got Mary's Poppin' if you're into that.
Mary's Poppin'. That sounds like just where you're going to buy cheap ecstasy tablets. Have you been to what was the one that was themed like an aeroplane?
Wow. Well,
maybe that's before your time.
Perhaps.
I was still Shelvin Pingers. That was where we used to go. It's been lovely talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Me.
We'll see you on Friday, the 18th of August at the Norwood Concert Hall for Feltopia. We'll see you there, Randy. Thanks for chatting.
See you later. Bye.
For all the details mentioned in this episode and our ever-growing catalogue of podcast episodes, plus news about what's on in South Australia, hit up glamadelaide.com.au. Thanks for listening and join us next time.